Ladies and gentlemen, it's Monday. Let's get it. Welcome into the Rob Brown Show on the radio. This is the Fan Upstate. Happy Monday, Upstate South Carolina. Good morning, America. Hello, world. It is great to be with you once again on a Monday. Got to get down on Monday. I am Rob Brown. Directly across from me, in charge of the broadcast, he is the alpha and the omega of the Fan Upstate. He is Colonel Grudge, hashtag Dad Kicks. He is the content cash cow, the professor of perfection, the wizard of wave, and all-around good guy, the great one, Lonzo at the helm. What up, Zo?
Wow, that made me feel bad about the fact that there's a song stuck in my head. The song Land Down Under stuck in my head. I don't know why.
Dude, I almost hurled.
See,
I
haven't watched it yet. Did you clip it?
Let me see. I think they, as a matter of fact, I think they did. I think they put it on the.
Probably should explain what we're talking about.
So for those of you that do not follow the show, or for whatever reason, do not listen to my nationally syndicated radio show, which airs from 1 to 5 every single Saturday on the BetQL network, on the Odyssey app, and on great Odyssey stations around the world. I host a show with a young man named Cody Decker. He is a former Major League Baseball player. I also host a show along with a young man named Hating Ass Mario, who we adore, who we love. We love Hating Ass Mario. Well, we both made bets last week, and I lost one that required me to eat a hearty spoonful of Vegemite. It has just been dropped in your Twitter DMs, Zoe. Slid into the DMs. Required me to eat a hearty spoonful of Vegemite. And let me tell you, when I opened the Vegemite and I smelled the Vegemite, I thought to myself, Cody was exaggerating a little bit. It's not that bad. It smelled. You can throw the audio up on the air. I didn't say anything bad. If you would like to play the audio from this, Lonzo, you're more than welcome to. I thought I was going to die. Here you go. Here's what it sounded like.
I described it last week as it was the equivalent of eating a dead body that had been out in the sun for several hours. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, Rob Brown eating his spoonful of Vegemite.
On my tombstone, I wanted to say he never gave up. All right, that's all. And he had wiggle. Oh my God!
Oh.
The sound you hear was me hitting the desk trying to power through it.
Look at Rob. He can't even look at the camera. Oh, my God.
I got to say, it's hard to watch.
Drinking so much.
It's hard to watch you when Cody Decker is dressed as a mountain.
Yeah.
He won't even talk. He's going to drink the entire bottle down. My God, that's got to be so painful. All right, Mario.
So there you go. We can come back to, unless you want to watch Hating Ass Mario do the same thing, because I thought we were going to watch Mario puke. I really did think Mario was going to puke. Here's the thing. The smell was not as bad as Cody Decker made it out to be. I mean, it didn't smell great, but it wasn't nearly as bad as he made it out to sound, made it sound like it would be. And so when I opened the jar and smelled it, I was like, that's not bad. You know what it smelled like? It smelled like rotten plants, right? Like, it wasn't awful. It just smelled like you forgot to weed the garden, or you forgot to throw the weeds away after you weeded the garden. It just smelled like bad old plants, rotten plants. And I thought, not bad. So,
because most people like the smell of rotting plants. Apparently,
no. Like I said, when Cody smelled it the first time, he fell out of his chair. He's like, "That's the worst smell of all time." And I smelled it. I said, "It's really not. It's really not, man." So then what happened was because the smell didn't get to me, I kind of got a little cocky. I kind of got a little overconfident, and I took a pretty decent spoonful out of the jar. I got my approval. Lonzo, when it hit the tongue, it was the most bitter, tart and bitter, and it's not like everybody said it looks like Nutella, right? It looks like Nutella. It is so much thicker than Nutella, right? Like Nutella's a spread. I pulled the spoon out, and you had to, like, the spoon bent trying to force the Vegemite out of the jar. It's not even like a tar. It's thicker than a tar, right? So it's like a I can't even think of a substance to compare it to give you an idea. Like mortar, like mortar when you mortar bricks together?
Yeah.
It's thicker than that, right? You had to bend the spoon to get it out. And then when it hit the tongue and it hit the taste buds, because I had some strategy here, right? The first I'm like about to gag thinking about it. The strategy was going to be to just get Vegemite on the top of the spoon, place the silver of the spoon on the tongue, and then like scrape the Vegemite and then swallow it without touching the tongue, or at least as minimal as possible. Didn't work.
Yeah, the goal would have been to swallow it as fast as you could.
Correct.
Yeah.
Here's the other problem. As soon as it touched the tongue, and I described it like this to Cody, it was like, we've been off the African savanna as a species for like 300,000 to 500,000 years now. And over that time, we've developed a digestive tract that is suited to eat certain materials, right? We have evolved a digestive tract that allows us to eat red meat, and it allows us to some of us to drink dairy and to eat different types of plants. It was like all of the evolutionary ancestors of Rob Brown collectively grabbed my esophagus and just squeezed it shut and went, yeah, you're not supposed to eat this, right? Cody described it, as you heard him say, like licking a dead body. Like, I genuinely get that. Because when I tasted the Vegemite, Zoe, my throat closed, right? Because the key was what? Get it in there, swallow it as quick as you can. Just get it down. Power it down, hammer it down, eat up the time, bang down some Fuji apple-flavored water, and call it a day. When it hit the tongue, though, my entire body rejected it. Oh, it was like, no, it was a fight to get it down. A fight to get it down. And I got to tell you, Zoe, I was close to yakking on air.
If you puked, would you have lost the bet?
No, I mean, that was the punishment for losing the bet.
All right.
It was, hey, if you puke on air, you puke on air. But that Vegemite's going down one way or the other, right?
Because a stipulation would have been, if you throw up, you got to do it again.
Yeah. No, I'd have quit the show. I'd have quit the show before I did it again. I would have quit the show before I did it again. I could not. When I knew that Cody was talking to me, right? I knew Cody was talking to me. I knew he was asking me a question. I could hear him. My brain could not put together what it was that Cody was saying. I knew he was asking me questions. I knew he said Rob. I just shooed him away because my brain was only thinking, you have got to hold this together, man. You got to hold this together.
I was trying to figure out who Cody really reminds me of, and I have it now. Watching him in a Mountie outfit, I don't know why this took me where it needed to go. Sami Zayn.
A little bit.
Especially the laughing, everything during that whole segment. I could just see Sami Zayn doing that.
I get it, a little bit. For the record, the my favorite part about this is that BetQL clipped this. They put this up. We got a bunch of replies to it, and the vast majority of them are like, yeah. hilarious that Rob is about to yak live on air from eating like melted together gym socks. But are we all just going to gloss over the fact that the primary host of the show looks like the Mountie? Like, we're all just going to gloss right over the fact that the guy in the middle is dressed as the Mountie.
It's hard because I think it took away from the bet a little bit because your eyes are drawn to that. And it's not just because he's in the middle. He's dressed as a Mountie.
Bright red jacket, large cowboy hat, and dressed like a Mountie.
Yeah, after the initial of you nearly yakking and everything, and while you're drinking your water, I can't look at you anymore. I'm watching him.
Yeah.
Because he's a Mountie.
Yeah. Of course.
Is that why Mounties are effective? Because people are just too busy looking and laughing like we're supposed to take this serious?
Because the Mountie always gets his man. So anyway, if you haven't watched Bet for the Cycle with me and Cody Decker yet, I suggest you tune in on Saturdays because one guy was dressed like the Mountie, the other guy was banging down Vegemite as a punishment for a bet lost.
Did Mario have mouthwash? Is that what he had?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. My dude finished his Vegemite. We got to the break, and I went, Mario, did you just swallow a full cap full of Listerine? He said, yeah. He goes, it was that bad. I said, right, but you know that you might puke that back up. He goes, yeah, that's the goal. He's like, I need this all out of my system immediately. I need you to know. I went and got Listerine during the next break, though, because about 10 minutes after that. Now, for those of you that don't watch us on the stream at facebook.com/TheFanUpstate or by searching and following the Rob Brown Show on YouTube, Lonzo and I both drink these clear, they're clear American carbonated waters, right? We both drink them. They're like 67 cents a bottle.
By the way, Walmart, we're willing to do ads.
100%.
Yes.
Zero sugar, 0 calories, 0 caffeine, 0 sodium, right? I don't know how they make it, but supposedly it's got 0 all that stuff.
It's carbonated and it's water and it's awesome.
Citric acid, blah, 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 blah. We both drink these. They come in 100 flavors. Well, Rob brought a full bottle into the man cave, which I then drank the entire bottle to get, like, not just drank, but like swished it around to get rid, because that stuff, Lonzo, it like cements to your teeth. It gets into the little cracks between your teeth, and then it just like glues itself in there, which of course glues the taste of Vegemite into your teeth. So every time your tongue hits the back of the teeth, you just get a little spark of the Vegemite taste again, and it's got off.
All right. I'm intentionally being gross here, but we enjoy the science here on the Rob Brown Show.
Correct.
The belches, how were they?
That is exactly where I was going. Exactly where I was going. Was after bagging down in about 15 to 25 seconds, 33.8 fluid ounces of Fuji apple flavored soda water. I got to the end of it, and then the belching started during the break. The burps started during the break. And guess what they tasted like? Every single one of them.
See, I asked this just from
Vegemite.
Experience when I ate the haggis as when I lost the bet. The burps were worse.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that was possible.
Yep.
And they lasted for weeks for me.
Dude, the burps were worse, and they lasted the rest of the show. We had a break at one segment, and I was just like, Cody, you got to take us to break. He's like, why? I'm like, because I just burped Vegemite, and if I try to talk, I'm going to hurl. I'm going to hurl Vegemite if you don't take over.
Are you going to lose another bet?
Not that involves Vegemite, I promise. We both got to the end of the show, and all three of us, the three of us don't like agree on anything. We got to the end of the show, and the consensus was no more Vegemite bets. That was off the table. That was off the table. Here's how bad it was, Lonzo. It was so bad that I did not bring the jar in here for you to try it. That's how bad it was.
Yeah, I noticed that, and I appreciate that because I thought this could have been all the build up for me to do this, and
I did not bring it because I was like, I'm not doing that to Lonzo.
That's the extent. That's how bad this is. You're not going to put it on somebody else.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. This is so bad that I could not bring myself to Lonzo with a jar of Vegemite to go, do you want to try it? I couldn't do it. The answer is no, you don't. I would never, except for this one time. I'm answering a question for Lonzo. No, you do not want to try it.
All right. So, what do you have respect or disdain for anyone who eats this as a snack?
I think you need a therapist. I think you need a therapist if you eat this for fun as a snack. Now, here's the thing. In fairness, I did take a big old heaping spoonful, and when I put it up on Twitter that I was going to be trying it, the people that were involved that eat Vegemite were like, so here's the thing. In Australia, they take like legit just like a dollar, not even a dollar.
What I expect caviar will be like. You can tell me about that. I don't know.
Yeah. As a 1%er, I certainly can. They just take like a tiny little amount, like big, like 2 or 3 green peas worth, and then they spread it over the whole piece of toast and load it with butter on top of that. And I'm like, all right, I mean, I guess, but I just had to go spoonful. I wanted to die. It was so bad. I did not bring the jar in for Lonzo to even decide on his own if he wanted to try it, because I couldn't do it to him. I could not do it. Trey says, I watched it with my daughter. We got the biggest laugh from Cody laughing. I thought Cody was going to pass out laughing at me, to be honest with you. He said, I bought some Vegemite and tried a little bit of it. I didn't realize you were going to take a spoonful. Yep. That was the bet I lost.
I don't know. What does it say about you when you're laughing about the pain of others?
In fairness, we did it to him last week because he had to eat. See, here's the thing. He had to do a Vegemite sandwich, right? He had to do nope, I did it backwards, didn't I? He had to do a Vegemite sandwich. So he had to eat much more Vegemite than I did, but he got to break it down throughout the show and had waffles to kind of help him wash it down. I just had to knock it out. I would rather have just knocked it all down in one spoonful. I will give you the waffles and rather have just knocked it down in one spoonful. But yeah, I thought he was going to pass out laughing. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's take a break. Coming up in this hour of the show. Look, I don't lead. I don't lead with hockey. I don't lead with hockey. I can't lead with hockey. Except for now. Because what the hell, Tampa? 7-0 loss to the Avs in the Stanley Cup Finals. No, listen, you're going to lose games. It's the finals. You're playing the best other team in the NHL. It happens. But 7-0. What the hell went wrong with that? We're going to break that down. College World Series underway. We are moving closer to the College World Series Finals. Great weekend in college baseball. We're going to break that down for you. Might even get a little Major League Baseball in here later on. NFL mini camps are in process. Some have wrapped up already, some in process. We got some storylines developing around the NFL. A lot of stuff to get to. I hope you'll stick around. I'm Rob. He's Lonzo. This is The Rob Brown Show right here on the Fan Upstate. Be right back, stream. Don't go anywhere.
some reason Saturday we got on flaming t-shirt cannons. And so now I'm going to have to write like 5 different versions of the flaming t-shirt cannon commercial.
Flaming t-shirt cannon.
I might need your help voicing a couple of them. Doesn't have to be today. We got all week.
Thank you, Skrilla. Appreciate it. Keeping us honest here. Checked in.
Even though I'm not fully recovered from the allergy thing, I thought I'd go about 50 minutes on the treadmill this morning.
And how'd that
I'm
go?
starting to think that might have been a mistake.
Oh my goodness.
You have a good weekend with your mom?
Yeah, she's still here. She leaves tonight.
Oh, okay.
She said to say hello. Actually, she's coming to pick me up.
Cool.
Let her use the car today. She wanted to go get pastries.
Donuts or
Breakfast pastries. That's what I got told. Breakfast pastries.
fritters?
Eclairs.
Eclairs. I like the fritters.
You know, it's one thing to lose a game in the playoffs. It's one thing to lose a game in the playoffs. It's going to happen to everybody, right? You're going to lose a game. To get blown out, and not by a little bit, 7-0 in a finals game.
And that's in hockey too. So we're normal scores are like 2-0, and it seems like a blowout.
Yeah.
But 7-0.
I mean, 7-0 in a baseball game in the World Series, you'd be like, all right, it's a bad night for one team or the other, but it's not like the end of the world.
Is Tampa tired? Are they tired? I mean, there's a lot of.
Gotta think so, right?
Yeah.
Gotta think so. Here's what I heard. I heard the first argument was, oh, well, it's the thin air up in Colorado. Games 1 and 2 or in downtown Denver. It's that thin Colorado air. Yo, they've been there a week, right? They've been there a week. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a breathologist. I'm not an oxygenologist or whatever that would be called. I'm not a student of air. But I work on this under the assumption.
I'm a fan of air, though.
Yeah, big fan. I try to keep it around as often as possible. But I would work under the assumption, and I think a fair one, that after 6 days, you'd be all right? Like, you'd be good, you'd be settled, you'd be comfortable. We're used to it. We're acclimated. But I guess not. I don't know. I went back. In fact, we didn't even finish that game. I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't even finish that game. That was, what was it? Friday night? Saturday night? I don't remember. Whatever night it was. I've blanked it from my brain. Saturday night. The Madre is in town. We went out. Me, the Madre, the lady friend. We had some fun. Goofed off. Got back to the house. I don't remember what we did Saturday night. But we got back to the house. We turned on the game. It's 3-0. Like, all right, 3-0. It happens. Very, very good chance Tampa Bay climbs into this, right? They were down 2-0 in the first game. Fought back in. This team's got experience. This team's got opportunity. They're going to be fine. 3-0. Like, all right, well, it's a little bit more challenging now, but hey, it's early second half or second period. Plenty of time. Go bury one, change the rhythm of the game, you're going to be fine. 4-0. All right, well, I mean, scoring 4 in a row is possible. We've seen Tampa do it. Colorado just did it. That's why they're down 4. Lightning better get on the horse. 5-0. All right, it's over. 6-0. Okay, 7-0. We get it! Tampa just kept going. Just kept pouring it on. That's not just a 2-0 series lead as it shifts back to Tampa tonight. That is a commanding lead. Listen, I'm all about, confidence in the face of adversity. But my goodness, how do you get your rear ends kicked up and down the ice like Tampa just did and go back home and go, oh, we got answers? You have no answers. Nothing. Tampa has not matched the speed of the Avs. They have not matched the strength of the Avs. They cannot slow down the first line of the Avs. So by the time the second line is in the mix, they're already behind the 8 ball. They cannot create an offensive rhythm. They cannot create possession on the rhythm. They were supposed to have the best goaltender in the playoffs. And Vasilevsky has been getting absolutely smoked. The Avalanche jumped out to a 2-0 lead in the first 10 minutes. The Truscott and Manson both had one. Both dumped one in, 2-0 Avs, and you thought, all right, this is where Tampa Bay ends up showing the experience. This is where Tampa Bay ends up showing what they've got, what they've learned through back-to-back Stanley Cup appearances. Now in their third, this is where the experience kicks in. Colorado gets overconfident. Colorado gets cocky. Tampa comes down, makes them pay. We got a 2-2 game, and the third period's a burner. Instead of the first 16 shot attempts in the game, Colorado had 15 of them. By the end of the first period, Colorado had launched 24 attempts on goal. Tampa had 10. How? Every offensive statistic went the way of Colorado. They were just better, right? Like, we can talk X's and O's, we can talk Jimmys and Joes, but when it comes down to it, Colorado just was better. They dominated possession. They kept Tampa uncomfortable. When they got opportunities on the power play, they finished them. They dominated the forecheck. I mean, everything went their way. I'm at the point now, I called Avs in 7, right? I called Avs in 7. And I got to tell you, I was wrong because this thing's not going to 7. Lonzo, this thing may not get to 5. I mean, honestly, that team that won Saturday night in Colorado will beat the Lightning at home. Tampa Bay is going to be rocking. Tampa's going to be loud. That's a great hockey environment. I've been to NHL games there, both pre and post Stanley Cup. That building is going to be loud. It is going to be rocking. It is going to be a fun environment to watch. But that team that won 7-0 Saturday night, if that Colorado team shows up, this thing's over in 4. Can you imagine getting swept in the finals of your league?
This is hockey, though. Don't you come out fighting? I mean, literally, come out fighting. If you just took a beating like that.
I mean, you'd like to say yes, right? Like, yeah, obviously you come out and you give it. Here's the problem. Colorado can fight too, right? This is a scrappy team, and they have been more physical than Tampa. They just have been. So it's like, yeah, I get the premise of come out, run the forecheck, knock these guys around, put them in the glass, make them pay. But they are every bit big and it's like this. It's like, oh, if you want to score by Shaq, all you got to do is go through him to get to the rack. Oh, good luck. Yeah, that's all you got to do is be physical. Yeah, they're really physical too. Josh
on the stream, I think, is worried you're putting bad mojo on the Avs.
Skrilla said, don't do that. Look what you did to the Bravos winning streak. They dropped 2 out of 3 at the Cubs. Yeah, they did. Thursday, I'm like, yo, this Brave team's finally got it. They're together. They're good. They go drop 2 out of 3 to the 27-43 Chicago Cubs. Now I'm good. I'm comfortable. The Avs jumped all over Tampa Bay. They never let up. Tampa did not know what to do. They just didn't know what to do. That's supposed to be their thing, right? They've been to 2. They've been to 3 now, but they've won 2 in a row. They're supposed to be experienced. They're supposed to know how to handle this situation, and they did not. They did not. They watched Colorado come out there, push them around the ice, and had 0 response. None. At all. All right, let me take a break. Preferred Home Services text line's open, 71307. By the way, Colorado 4-1 winners tonight. That's my prediction. And they go up 3-0. Tampa's going to be lucky if they don't get swept here. Texter on the Preferred Home Services text line, 71307, says, I'm not trashing you reporting hockey. It's literally all we've got right now, that and baseball. But, my God, hurry up, football. I love me a little hockey, man. A little Stanley Cup action, baby. And listen, if that is how you feel, you're a big Avs fan right now because you're looking for a sweep. End this thing before this week is over. So we flip to baseball and summer football next week.
Or we could do what other shows do. Carolina, Clemson. And next segment, Clemson, Carolina. And in the next hour, Carolina, Clemson.
What's your favorite sports movie? Back after this on the Rob Brown Show in the Fan Upstate. Yeah, I did. I'm not saying I jinxed the Braves last week, but I definitely didn't help them, did I, Skrilla?
Which fictional baseball player hit the longest home run? Pro Football Focus has just tweeted, would you rather win a Super Bowl as a backup quarterback or win league MVP?
Oh, we win league MVP.
Do you get paid more as winning the league MVP?
If you get the league MVP, you're a starter the next year.
Well, they're showing Lamar Jackson. He was already a starter. And then they're showing the backup for Tampa Bay at quarterback. Yeah. I got to say, I have no idea who that is.
What's his name? Who is it?
No idea who that is, but he got a Super Bowl ring. And I'm guessing, well, no, I know you get a bump in it. You get a little bit of a bump in the paycheck for going to the Super Bowl. So, yeah, I guess if you're the league MVP, that means you're already a starter. You're doing really well.
Yeah.
But if you like money and you like rings and you know in your heart that you'll never be the guy, then you're okay with being the backup guy because 15 years from now, you can tell everybody you won the Super Bowl. And unless
now, when you say win as a backup, do you mean like playing in the game or like you're on the team that wins
you're on
the
the
Super
team?
Bowl? Gotcha. Like, because if you do the opposite, you're Nick Foles, right? Like,
yeah.
And that worked well for him.
Space Channel.
I want it.
Well, just go to the App Store and search Space Channel, Rob.
My friend and I are taking a trip to Mexico this year, but neither of us speak Spanish. So we downloaded Babbel and started learning Spanish.
Space Channel, front row seat to the end of the world.
End of the world. Final frontier, man.
Yeah, you'll see contact first there, and then see the laser coming.
¿De dónde eres?
Babbel's interactive lessons are created by real language teachers and voiced by real native speakers using a modern conversation-based method.
Yeah, I saw that too, Trey. I didn't see the actual match. I don't know what he did, but I did see it was trending earlier. And your new X Division champion, AJ Styles.
Oh, did he win a belt?
No.
Subscription sold. Now try Babbel for free at babbel.com. Just go to babbel.com and start learning a new language.
And there is no post, Vince. All those people are really excited, including maybe some people in this room.
I got to tell you, I'm just really excited for Brock v. Roman.
Still not a bad interview for my first famous interview, Kenny Mayne.
It's too bad. I love Kenny Mayne.
He was everywhere. It was so great.
Kenny Mayne's amazing.
I wish it would have been on video back then because I took my stack of interview questions and just threw it. It's like, okay, let's have some fun here. You want to riff? We can riff, dude. Let's do this.
I love Kenny Mayne. It's great.
Because he got paid?
Yeah, maybe don't ask dumb questions and just be like, yo, Ice-T is leading my spin class. What up? You got it, Ice. Oh, they actually made... they actually made workouts. Kind of want to do one, I'm not going to lie.
I don't think my knee could handle spin class. I'd love to give it a shot, though. Have you been on? I mean, because the...
I used to do spin.
Yeah,
I lost a lot of weight doing
the tension they have on those is pretty... It's rough.
Well, like, you can adjust it down to nothing.
It's repetitive motion where my knee's reconstructed. After a while, it's just like, okay, that's it. We done.
We done. Tampa Bay is plus 450 to win this series now. Colorado minus 600. That's not a great look if you're the Lightning in this weather-based Stanley Cup matchup. Not great. We'll talk more hockey later on in the show. I do want to get this. I've got one clip in the roster to play today, Zoe. Just one. And it's Clay. Clay has been really good, both as a basketball player and as a mic guy. So it's random that it is June 20th of 2022, and I'm already looking ahead to a Christmas Day basketball matchup. Why? Because they being Clay and they being the Memphis Grizzlies, are trying to line up a match betwixt the two. After a game back on March 28th, there was a post-game interview featuring Memphis Grizz big man Jaren Jackson Jr. And he tweeted after they knocked off the Dubs in that game, strength in numbers. Well, Clay talked about it in the post-game presser after getting the trophy.
And strength in numbers is alive and well. I can't wait. There was this one player on the Grizzlies who tweeted strength in numbers after they beat us in the regular season, and it pissed me off so much. I can't wait to retweet that thing. Freaking bum. I had to watch that. I'm just like, this freaking clown. Okay. Sorry. That memory just popped up. You're going to mock us? Like, you ain't ever been there before, bro. We've been there. We know what it takes. So to be here again, hold that.
We'll do a last couple for Clay. Mark Spears, back right.
Twitter fingers. Can you believe it?
Cannot. Mark in the back right.
Clay,
I got a memory like an elephant. I don't forget. And there was a lot of people kicking us when we were down.
Yo, the king of petty, Clay. Clay was calling up tweets from late March that he couldn't let go.
I gotta say, I respect that.
Yes, Colonel Grudge. I assumed you would. Colonel Grudge, I assumed would be a big Klay Thompson fan. I assumed Colonel Grudge would welcome into the ranks General Grievance.
That was well done.
Thanks. I was trying to come up with more, but that's the only rank I could get to. You got Colonel Grudge and General Grievance, Clay. Clay is calling up tweets from March 28th. That's when that game happened, March 28th. And he remembered that June, what was it? What night did they win the title? June 16th? 17th, whatever it was?
Last week.
Yeah. April, May, and half of June, Clay was sitting there with bulletin board material inside his head. And now Draymond has gotten involved. So you know it's about to get better. The Grizzlies won that March 28th game. However, the Warriors had Thompson, Steph, and Dre all inactive. So my man Jaren Jackson sent out a strength in numbers tweet, banging the Dubs in a game that Thompson, Curry, and Green were all inactive. Well, Ja Morant decided to get himself involved when he decided to respond to a tweet saying that the Grizz are living out here rent-free. Ja said, got a lot of real estate. Dre, after winning the title at Money 23 Green, went all the way back in Ja Morant's timeline, found that tweet, and said, we traded that real estate in Ja Morant's head. The property value was higher in Boston, end quote. Since then, they have gone back and forth, Ja and Dre, about playing. A young man tweeted out, a Grizz Warriors Christmas game in San Fran is all but guaranteed at this point. Ja tweeted out, nah, in the M, bring him to the trenches, to which Dre responded, the champs play at home, young, Christmas Day, let's go, end quote. I am here for the petty in the NBA. And I know there's a lot of old hats, Lonzo, that don't like it, right? Like, stop talking trash, get down, play basketball. But I'm in for it. I like it. It's engaging. It's entertaining. It's fun. The majority of it is just smack talk like we would do when we pop on the Xbox to play a little NBA 2K. I like it. It adds a level to the NBA that's not otherwise there. It makes it fun. I have never been anti-fun in sports. As long as the sports are getting played, I don't care. I love this.
It's all good. Just leave KD away out of it. Just don't let him be a part of it because he can't handle it.
Which one of his burners?
Yeah, he can't take it. So I mean, everybody else we're good, but leave KD out.
Leave KD out of it. KD's mental faculties are not prepared to go 1v1 in the Twitter sphere with Ja and Draymond. No, I like it. I like it. I like the petty. I like that Clay. Hey, listen, whatever motivates you, right? I've got clipped across the bottom of my computer in the office like 3 or 4 different printouts of Facebook comments that people have left me, including one from a young woman. One from a young woman who said, listen, I listen to your show every day. I listen to it with my grandkids. It is how, like, it's what keeps me connected to them. My son and my grandkids are all big sports people. And I don't really do a lot of sports. So I listen to your show and then I bring what you talk about to them and we talk about it, right? I'm like, that's awesome. That motivates me. So that comment has been printed out. It's taped to the bottom of my computer screen. And when I'm having a day that I get off the show and I'm like, I suck at this. I'm so bad at this. I go reread that comment and I'm like, nope, get better. Because there's people out there like that depend on this show for something. Whatever motivates you to be as good as you can be, take full advantage and run with it. For Clay, it was Jaren Jackson, who, by the way, I've already told you 3 times. What team does Jaren Jackson play for?
Memphis.
Yeah. Most people out there are like, who? But my guy, if you need to motivate yourself off the words of Jaren Jackson, I would say it worked, right? I would say it worked. Did anybody think that Clay did not play the finals to the best of his ability because he was Draymond took that criticism, right? Draymond got beat up for not being his best in the NBA finals. And Draymond got it blamed on his podcast or the petty beef or whatever. But Clay went out there and did the damn thing, right? He had 1 or 2 games where he was a little bit off. He had 3 games where he was aces, where he was lights out. That's all you can ask for, ain't it? Whatever motivates you. It's petty. It's stupid. It's goofy. And I love it. And I love it. And I love it. All right, a couple of texts and tweets we've gotten so far. Trey says, Rob, do you have more respect for Australians now that you've had Vegemite, or do you think they probably all have bad breath? I think I'm about to airdrop crates full of Dentyne and Listerine straight into the heart of the Outback. So I can't imagine people who eat that routinely are pleasantly making out with each other. It was awful. Josh said, could we talk more about the USFL? I can't find stats on those games. Now, I got to tell you, the USFL, I've told you guys this before. It's pretty good football, right? It's pretty good football. That being said, they have not done themselves a lot of favors by making it as difficult to get involved as they have. Like, I know they're airing it on Fox. I know they're putting it on Fox. I know that it's being hyped. I just finished watching last Friday night's SmackDown, which, yeah, we're probably going to talk about later in the show. But I just got done watching it, and there were live reads for USFL within Friday Night SmackDown, right? Which you kind of find interesting with the XFL just around the corner, but it's not Vince's XFL anymore. Anyway, yeah, we can get into some USFL. I have been watching it intermittently, right? Like, unfortunately, I recognize and realize that the majority of you guys don't care about it, which is too bad. Because like I said, it's pretty good football. It's been engaging. It's been entertaining. But most of you guys don't care about it, and I wonder why. I've got a theory. It is my theory ultimately is that you guys have been so conditioned to getting into spring football that inevitably folds that it's like, why waste my time now? Or you look and you go, there's only like 1,000 people at this game. It can't be that good. It's Birmingham in the summertime at 10 a.m. on a Saturday. Yeah, it's going to be hard to get people out. But they've got TV funding. The money's there. What would it take to get you involved? Back after this on the Rob Brown Show. This is the Fan Upstate.
No, I'm better. I'm not well. It's still hanging on. I'm probably like at, I don't know, 90% maybe.
When the prospect of divorce becomes a reality, you need a partner that you can count on. If you're a man in this situation, consider contacting Cordell & Cordell. We've helped men navigate complex legal matters for 30 years.
Contact Cordell & Cordell to schedule an appointment with one of our firm's Greenville area attorneys. 55 Beatty Place, Suite 900, Greenville, South Carolina, 29601. Joseph Cordell, licensed in Missouri and Illinois only. Online at CordellCordell.com.
It's easy to think all money managers are pretty much the same, but at Fisher Investments, we're clearly different.
Different how? You sell high commission investment products, right?
No, Fisher Investments doesn't sell any commission-based investment products.
Well, you must earn commissions on trades.
No, never at Fisher. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in our client's best interest. It's the highest standard of care for a financial advisor.
How do you know what's in their best interest?
We get to know our clients and then tailor a portfolio based on their goals and needs.
But you probably sneak in some hidden layer fees.
No, we have
All right, more like 85%.
structured so we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, you really do look out for your clients.
That's because our top priority is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement. It might be why most of our clients come from other money managers. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments, clearly different money management.
Investments and securities involve the risk of loss.
97.7 FM Greenville. 97.1 FM Spartanburg. Upstate.
A tradition of mine is to pick up at least one new college polo each year, and I'm always trying to find something that nobody else has. If you're a Clemson or South Carolina fan, let me tell you, Smith & James has the nicest looking team gear you've seen. It's fresh and unique, and you don't have to worry about everyone else having your shirts. Better yet, people will be asking you where you got it. How do we know? Because we're wearing Smith & James, and they're asking us. Check out their collection today at SmithandJames.com and stop by their stores in downtown Greer and on Verde Boulevard in Greenville.
The Rob Brown Show, now 19. South Carolina's effectively entire starting rotation and some of the bench transferring out after Frank Martin left is not a surprise.
Oh.
Kids were there to play for
Not as panicky. Nothing attached to it anymore.
South Carolina. So the win here for Lamont Paris, the new head coach at South Carolina, is not to go and keep the roster intact. The win is, how do I replace those guys with guys who want to play for me? Don't panic, Gamecocks fans. Don't freak out about this. These kids were committed to Frank Martin, not
No, I
the
can't.
University
Well,
of South Carolina.
I can still see it kind of. Now it's way off the. No, I come and do it. We're good. Let me do it.
Yeah.
Good point. To Arkansas. You find a guy that kids want to play for, your basketball team profits. Welcome to college basketball in 2022.
Same
Or bamboo.
Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information. Subscription required. Refund available for 60 days after purchase.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 90% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/joy. You'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the biggest brands at 90% off. That's right, get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but 90% cheaper. It's the same medication you get from your doctor, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. Results are guaranteed or your money back. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/joy. That's 4hims.com/joy for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/JOY.
From the Ingles Market Studios, 97.7 FM Greenville,
97.1 FM Spartanburg.
and on the Odyssey app.
This report is sponsored by The Blood Connection, your community blood center.
It's heating up out there, which means the Blood Connection needs your help. The summer is the hardest time of year for your community blood center to get enough blood for local hospitals. Be a good neighbor. Donate blood with this community's only blood provider. Sign up at thebloodconnection.org/donate.
Prisma in the first break.
Prisma in the first break.
An Odyssey station.
Man, check this out.
Your unofficial Rob Brown lockdown.
Represents being real. Yeah.
Unfiltered sports talk. Manufactured locally for the Carolina.
Hour number 2 of the Rob Brown Show goes now. This is the Fan Upstate. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Monday. I almost said Tuesday. Happy Monday. Skipping ahead. I am Rob Brown. Colonel Grudge, hashtag Dad Kicks, the Alpha and the Omega of the Fan Upstate, the conductor of the Symphony of Sound that is the Rob Brown Show. The great one, Lonzo, is over on the other side of the glass that I continuously try to break multiple times this week. Welcome back.
Do we have any updates? I know we don't on the removal of said glass.
At some point, I'm just going to do it, and we're just going to not say anything.
Yeah, see if they notice.
Yeah.
Although we probably shouldn't say that we're going to do that.
Well, now I'm not.
Yeah.
Till I do, but I'm not. But I will. But I'm not going to. But I will.
It is. It's a hazard.
Yeah. I'm going to knock it into my own damn head at some point.
Or mine.
Or yours.
Or one or the other.
A couple of things I wanted to get to. First off, I won't spend a ton of time on this because I know it's just me that's excited. But boxing's got a little something coming down the line. So Anthony Joshua and Alexander Usyk have confirmed an August rematch in Saudi Arabia. Of course, Anthony Joshua, the British boxer, lost his belts to the unbeaten Ukrainian last year, August 20th in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. Usyk will once again put the WBA, WBO, IBF, and IBO heavyweight titles all on the line. He took all 4 of those belts after he knocked off Joshua via unanimous decision at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in London last September. He will get the opportunity, Anthony Joshua, a year later to try and take those 4 belts back. Zoe, I know you've been bouncing back and forth as a boxing guy with the Gypsy King, who, by the way, has said that if he's not done post his next fight, it will be very soon after that. Usyk versus Joshua. Any interest in that fight? I mean, that is the belt holder. Right?
I mean, it's a rematch. I think the only boxer that really gets me right now that makes me want to pay that amount of money, which is a lot of money, is The Gypsy King. So if he's not in it, I'm just not. Even during this time of year when, I mean, I don't know when the fight's going to be, but this would be a good time for it to happen when sports are winding down a little bit.
The fight as of right now, it looks like, is scheduled to take place August 20th, Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, which means that on August 20th, it's going to happen at like 2:30 in the afternoon.
There's probably a preseason NFL game on right around there. And, so I don't want to downplay boxing, but I think Joshua's done, isn't
And
he?
honestly, it should be either a week or two before preseason. I think it's the week before. I think the Hall of Fame game is the 27th. No, I could be wrong. It might be it might be the day of the Hall of Fame game. You might be right. I don't know if Anthony Joshua is done. I think this fight determines if Anthony Joshua is done, right? Like, I think there's a good chance he came in against Alexander Usyk in the last game and was a little bit overconfident.
How many actual heavyweight belts are there?
The considered big four are the WBA, WBO, IBF, and IBO. He has all four of them. Alexander Usyk does. That's why this kind of four-way dance between Usyk, Joshua, Fury, and White has been so damn interesting, because whoever walks away the winner of this little four-man dance is going to walk away the king of the mountain, the king of the heavyweight mountain, because all four belts are currently unified. They may get separated again down the line, but those four belts, the four big ones, all rest on the shoulder and waist of Alexander Usyk at this point. So basically, as we've talked about, it's a four-man tournament for boxing. It's Joshua Usyk on one side, it's Fury White on the other side, and the two winners fight each other. The winner of that fight is your undisputed, reigning, defending heavyweight champion of the world. Every time we talk boxing, I get people who say, and I think Lonzo's even in this camp, boxing is better when the heavyweight division is at its best, right?
Oh, without a doubt, for sure. The other problem is, how often do we get fights? I mean, once a year?
Yeah, I mean...
you want to keep interest. I mean, put on some good fights and put them on, at least 4 times a year.
I think the other part of it, though, is we've kind of developed boxing into this point where the only people who matter are the champs, right? Champions are all that matters. Well, champion's going to fight once a year. Maybe twice. But a champion's going to fight once a year. And so if nothing but championships fights matter to you, then yeah, you're going to go, there's not enough fights, right? But you're not going to get any of these guys, Joshua, Usyk, White, Fury, you're not going to get any of them to fight 4, 5, 6 times a year, right? If we'll go out there and fight every 4 months, not a chance. They put together a 4-month camp to get ready for the next fight. They're not immediately turning around after that fight and getting in the next camp.
Which is another reason why I prefer MMA. I mean, and that's the thing with the rise of MMA, it's hard for me to get into boxing because I find it a little boring depending on who's in there. I know I know you hate when I say that because you're a boxing guy, and I get it with Roy Jones and all that kind of stuff. But I think a lot of people are in my camp, and that's
listen. I understand that. You're right. Scratch that. You're not right about the boxing being boring compared to MMA. It's a different sport, right? You are right in that there are a lot of people in your camp. There are a lot of people that say with the rise of MMA comes the downfall of boxing. But I think they're to me, by the way, and I like both. You know, I'll talk MMA with you as long as I'll talk boxing with anybody else. I'm a fan of both. Boxing's a different sport. Boxing is a dance. Boxing is science. Boxing is art. Whereas MMA is technical fighting. It's a lot of violence.
See, I'm curious if it's, let's say you're in Vegas, not just you, but anybody listening out there, and it's a Saturday night and you have the option to go see a major boxing match or a UFC with a number in it. And if you watch UFC, you know what I mean. If there's a number in it, chances are it's going to be a pretty good card. And you can go for free to either one. Which one are you going to? I'm going to UFC.
It would, to cop out, it would 100% depend on who's on the card, right? If you ask me if it's my, see, here's the problem. As a baseball guy, I'm reading the text line again. As a boxing guy, I've got a couple of the guys that I like, right? A couple of guys that I like. I actually really like Anthony Joshua as a fighter. I think Anthony Joshua is probably the most complete heavyweight fighter we've seen in a while. Problem is, Seb just popped into the chat and he's spot on. I think Anthony Joshua has every talent he needs as a heavyweight. I also think Anthony Joshua, somewhere on his chin, has a little red button that says, hit me, and I'll turn off. Alexander Usyk is a technician, man. A technician. And he's fun to watch work. Whereas Tyson Fury is kind of the opposite. Fury's a good boxer, but Fury's a dude that is going to wade through a forest of shots to the chin looking to do damage to you. He is a tank, right? You can put up all the obstacles in the world, but the Panzer is going to push through and keep shooting at you. Big fan of Deontay Wilder. I loved watching Deontay Wilder fight. Deontay Wilder, unfortunately, I think, got into his own head a little bit. And once he got it, by the way, remember, Deontay had Tyson Fury down in their last fight, 3 times, and Fury kept getting up. Deontay was one power shot away from running away, and the other fight would have been White v. Wilder, and Fury would have been left out and had to earn his way back in. I think it depends on who's on that card. Boxing is again, to me, it's an art, it's a dance, it's a science. I'm being super cliche, and I get that, but it is. I've been around it my entire broadcasting life. I love boxing. That being said, I don't think, and this is boxing's problem, I don't think boxing does a good enough job selling itself. I don't think boxing does a good enough job explaining itself, right? If you watched Money May in his prime, what was boxing? It was professional wrestling entrances followed by 2 guys just trying to punch each other. Boxing has not endeared itself to the next generation the way that a lot of other sports do. And I don't know how you do, right? Like, with baseball, you can send Major League Baseball players down to elementary school to put balls on tees and teach kids the proper swing mechanics. Football, you can take kids out without having them hit each other, and you can have them run routes and talk to them about the intricacies of route running. Soccer, obviously, easy sport to connect with the next generation. You can't connect boxing with the next generation, right?
Well, you can.
You can't teach a kid to throw an overhand right.
And Joseph has a point that I won't bring up, but I'll let him bring it up.
He says, unpopular opinion, boxing is more popular now than it has been in many years. It gets people mad, but I honestly believe Jake Paul is a big reason for it, whether you tune in to hate on him or not. The thing is, Joseph's not necessarily wrong.
Yeah, that next generation, the generation that you're talking about, did you want to be boxing fans? When you mention one of the Paul brothers, the first thing they think of is boxing.
They're all YouTubers. And listen, I said the other day, it is actually impressive how much work YouTube has done to become the entertainment platform of choice for the next generation, right? Like, it really has.
And it's not necessarily the next generation. I spend a lot of time when I'm eating supper or something. I don't want to watch anything really long. I just jump on YouTube and find,
100%.
Oh, that looks interesting. Let me check that out.
100%. My YouTube history is science lectures. I'm watching one right now from Professor Brian Cox.
It would be.
Professor Brian Cox. He's a physicist and astronomer, an astrophysicist, if you will. And if you've never heard the guy talk, he can take the most incredible astrophysics subjects that are wildly complicated But you know what he is? He's like Bill Nye the Science Guy, but for older kids. It's fantastic. Professor Brian Cox. Anyway, point is, YouTube has done a great job of ingratiating himself as a viable entertainment platform that is up there with movies and television and radio and podcast. There are guys making millions of dollars on YouTube right now because they have so many people watching. And yeah, it is a fact that the Paul brothers are so damn popular that they have brought the YouTube people over. Here's the thing. Good, bad, or ugly. Good, bad, or ugly. The problem is those are Paul fans, right? Those are Logan and Jake Paul fans. They're not boxing fans. Are any of them buying Joshua v. Usyk without the Paul brothers involved? No.
Yeah, but in order to bring attention back to a sport that seems to be dying and seems to have been dying for a long time, but is not dead, you got to get eyes on it. And if you tune in to watch one of them fight and then suddenly go, you know what, this ain't bad, let me check out another fight. I mean, if you get one or two fans.
What kids do that?
I don't know, because I don't know all kids. I mean, you know, there's.
I don't know all kids.
Yeah, I don't know all kids. I think the point of advertising anything is you want to pick up a couple people. You like to get more, but if you get a couple, then it was effective advertising. So if they get a couple fans out of it.
I don't think it matters. And here's why I don't think it matters. Because.
I mean, how many do they have to bring in for it to matter in your mind?
The problem is, in my opinion, and I understand I'm being a little old man screams at cloud right now about this. If you tune in to watch a Jake Paul fight, he's the big one, right? Like, he's the one that's doing the actual fighting. Or is that Logan? I don't remember.
I don't know. Is it one or the other?
Whichever the one that is doing the big fights, right? The one that got knocked out by Money May. That one. If you tune in and you are sold that as boxing, and then you watch an actual boxing match, you're not sticking around. You're not. It's unfortunate but true. So I don't know that it matters. Either way, the point is this. Boxing just found out in the last 24 hours that it's got its next big thing. It's got its next big fight. It's got its next big match. And that big match is Anthony Joshua, Alexander Usyk, the Brit versus the Ukrainian. They're going to fight August 20th down in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. Big money event. You know, if it's happening in Jeddah, they're going to put on an absolute show about it. Boxing, I would love to see you sell this fight. You have got two really good fighters right there in Joshua and Usyk. Sell this fight. And if you don't, it's a long way to the top, man. Joseph says the UFC and MMA in general typically do a better job of making their best fighters fight each other. Boxing has to get on board to try and keep up. I agree. Because even non-title fights at UFC are made to feel important, right? How do you do that with boxing, though? How do you do that with boxing? I don't know that you can. Without creating an organization like the UFC, I don't know how you do it. Maybe that's the next thing. Maybe somebody needs to start a UBC, Ultimate Boxing Championship, and make it a league.
I think it would help if you eliminate some belts.
Yeah.
I mean, because then with each belt gone, the other ones become more important.
Yeah. If you folded 2 or 3 or 4 of those organizations and you just created the Ultimate Boxing Championship, where guys spent their entire amateur career trying to make it to that league like they do with the UFC, and make it where that's the crown jewel, maybe you spark interest again. I don't know. All right, let's take a break. When we come back here in just a minute, we will get a little baseball in here. Texter said earlier, can we move on from the non-baseball Australian Vegemite talk? Let's talk about Mike Harris, Travis d'Arnaud, Dansby Swanson, and the rest of those badass Braves. Braves dropped 2 out of 3 to the Cubs. Not great, but they have won 15 out of their last 17. That is pretty good. We'll address that when we come back on the Rob Brown Show. This is the Fan Upstate, y'all.
Prisma. All right, I brought us back.
Oh, I thought I already had. My bad.
Brought us back because we're coming back. So, so in order to be back, we need to be back. Or something.
Something. Well, I got to get to this. Because this is unexpected. I'm scanning through Twitter, and I came across an article that was posted to Cat Scratch Reader. Cat Scratch Reader.
Is this a site that cat ladies read, or?
No, it's an SB Nation site covering the Carolina Panthers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I get it now.
Yeah. Cat Scratch Reader. Wow. No, Ted Nugent didn't even sing most Ted Nugent songs.
He's a guitarist, man.
Yeah. Anyway, Carolina Panthers head coach Matt Rule. This is I gotta tell. I don't know if I take this seriously or not. Okay, I don't know if I take this seriously or not. NFL Total Access is James Jones, not Earl, just the regular one, just James Jones.
Not the one with the Kool-Aid.
No.
No, that guy's dead.
And not this one. Just regular James Jones. Not of the Earl variety or otherwise.
Wouldn't you just call yourself Jimmy Jones? Jim. No, Jim Jones is the guy that I was talking about. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, Jim Jones is Kool-Aid guy.
You could go J Jones.
Yeah.
But then, yeah.
Anyway, he went on NFL Total Access. And he said, quote, "I don't care about the money. You have to go get Baker Mayfield. If you do not win in this league as a head coach, you get fired. And if you do not have a good quarterback in this league, you cannot win. That's been proven. We've seen this year after year," end quote. He went on to say, quote, "Baker Mayfield right now coming off the streets, wherever he's at, and coming off the streets, is Baker homeless?"
Well, he can't go home, remember, because he lives in Brown Stadium.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, so,
That's right.
So
they changed the access code. It used to be 7. Anyway, Baker coming off the I like the idea of home. Baker shows up in Charlotte with like a disheveled beard, a hole in one Nike. Like, hey guys, I just need to play. Any contract will help. Anyway, Baker Mayfield right now coming off the streets wherever he's at in Cleveland makes this team better. He is a better player and a better QB. We've seen the best of Sam Darnold. We can't keep giving Darnold more chances. Baker Mayfield led this Cleveland Browns team to the playoffs and won on the road in Pittsburgh. If you do not bring in a quarterback, you are going to end up being fired depending on Sam Darnold, end quote. So here you have an NFL pundit working for the NFL Network, by the way, when no punches pulled. Said, look, Matt Rule has 2 options here. He can get Baker Mayfield and have a shot, or he can keep Sam Darnold and get fired. Straight up. He just said, Bake keeps you employed, Sam sends you pink slipped. How do we feel about that? Because I got to tell you, despite the violent reaction and the hilarity of the concept of a homeless Baker Mayfield, I think he's right. Like, he's right. Right? Is there any one of you out there right now at all, anywhere? Text me, 71307. Sorry, text with a fan that believes that Baker Mayfield is less talented than Sam Darnold. Does anybody feel that way?
Is it Matt Rule's fault that they are in the quarterback situation they're in?
To some degree, yes. Because Sam was a Matt Rule project. Now, will it be his fault if Sam Darnold's the starter again this year? I mean, buck stops at the top. I'm going to say, yeah, he called a shot with Sam Darnold.
Yeah, but technically, he's not the top, though. I mean, that would be the GM, wouldn't it?
Right. But if Matt Rule, as we are to understand, if Matt Rule is the one that's calling the shot, right? Like, this is my QB. This is the guy I want. This is who I need in here. And Fitterer or Tepper or whoever is giving him the thumbs up on that. I mean, it's kind of on all of them.
See, we don't know that behind the scenes, Rule isn't going, come on, man. Come on, guys.
Give me Baker.
Give me somebody.
I'm begging you to give me Baker.
You give me Sam Darnold? Come on.
Yeah, because at some point the GM's going to go, look, I know what you're looking for here, Matt. I know what you're going for. I respect it. I appreciate it, but we can't afford that guy, right? And that's why they're working the trade right now with the Browns to try to get the Browns to pay some/most of Baker's contract. That's the next step. Get them to pay off some/all of Baker's contract. Matt Rule may very well be begging to get Baker Mayfield, but he also might be not doing that. He may be doubling down on Sam Darnold. No, this is my guy. I just need one more year. He got his XP last year. If it wasn't for the injury, he'd have been better. I need one more year with this guy, and he's going to go bananas. Maybe. I don't know. Here's what I do know. What I do know is that whoever's rolled out onto the field in week 1, whoever is the starting QB on September 11th against the Cleveland Browns, whoever's name gets called out as the starter, it's on Matt Rule. It's on Scott Fitterer. It's on David Tepper, right? They own it. They own it at this point. They could have made the move for the bake show. They have not done it. We are now over halfway through training camp, I believe, through the mini camp. You got everybody there. CMC is there. Robbie's there. Make the push. Make the move. But they're still not. And if it comes up down the line, that the difference between getting Baker and not getting Baker was like $1 million or $2 million, I might actually yank some hair out of my skull. I might actually pull some lettuce out, right?
When do you really need him there? You need him there by mandatory camp, right? Which
I'd say at this point, every day lost is a day lost.
I think you really need him there when, what is it? In July? It's in July, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, like near the end of July. That's when you need him. So you got another month to hope Cleveland is willing to come down on what they're willing to do and all that kind of stuff. So if we get into the first day of actual required camp and he's not there, then I'll be worried. Until then, I still think he's coming.
I see it. I get it. But you got to make the move. I mean, what's the point of waiting, I guess, right? Like, what is the point of waiting? Here's the other part about waiting. By waiting, you open up the possibility that another team goes and grabs Baker before you do. You're not getting Jimmy G. Jimmy G's off the table, in my opinion. There's too much money there for the Panthers to invest in Jimmy Garoppolo. Bake's a 1-year rental. Going to cost you $6 to $12 million. Take it. Take it. But do it now. Why are we waiting? Texas said, looking back, was giving up a 2nd and a 6th rounder too much. I was optimistic about Darnold. I was too, Texter. I was too. I own it. I thought that Sam Darnold was going to go stud.
Same here, but I think the main thing that happened to him was Christian McCaffrey going down. When they put so much of the offense around Christian and then he's gone, and then all the pressure got on Baker and he couldn't handle it.
I don't think you're wrong. I think that
suddenly he was back on the Jets.
I think that was a big blow. I think the most dynamic option offensively for Sam Darnold was taken away, and I don't think he knew how to handle it. That being said, Kind of Matt Rule's job to have him prepared for that, right? Hey, man, if we lose CMC, here's the game plan. If we lose Robbie Anderson, here's the game plan. If we lose DJ Moore, here's the game plan. Here's where we go. Needed him to be prepared for that. The fact that he was not prepared for that and never got fixed up before he himself got hurt was a problem. There's only one other option out there that's left, and that's bring Cam back one more, right? Run it back with CM. I don't hate the idea. I just don't need Sam Darnold starting for me. I was also very optimistic. I've said it 100 times. I don't need to beat that dead horse. But I've said 100 times. I thought him getting away from the Jets, away from Adam Gase, was going to be a big help for Sam Darnold. And it just never really developed. And that was the problem. All right, let's take a break. We'll come back. We will wrap up hour number 2. I got a lot more I want to get into. We got the Atlanta Braves discussion we need to have. The U.S. Open wrapped up, and there is, shocking I know, more drama between the PGA and the LIV Tour. I am dangerously close to entering Lonzo's "it's a work, brother" territory. Tell you why later on in the show. Rob Lonzo, this is the Rob Brown Show. This is the Fan Upstate.
I have no words. No words at all. I'm so glad the camera is turned now, though. This is the Vegemite.
Download the Odyssey app and search for the Fan Upstate. Then listen anywhere on your phone. I'm Jason Marks and that's your Sports Flash on the Fan Upstate.
From the Ingles Record Studio. 97.7 FM Greenville.
97.1 FM Spartanburg.
And on the Odyssey app.
There's nothing worse than coming home from a hot day to find out that your AC unit isn't working. When this happens, you need an HVAC
adjustment. Took a step to the right.
The adjustments don't always work quite as well as you'd think.
Step in the foil. It's the weight. Foil, not There we go. Nice, we put some marks on it.
Built for the new open web. Built for now. Try our Adelphic DSP today. Learn more at buyitnow.com/audio. Results may vary.
At Sherman, we heard you shouldn't talk about going to the bathroom in public, so we decided to sing about it.
Squeaky clean.
Charmin Ultra Strong just cleans better. Enjoy the go with Charmin.
At Boost Mobile, you get the power of the iPhone SE when you switch, which means the power to stream your favorite shows, download all the music, the power to FaceTime X.
It's over. Stop calling me.
On second thought, don't call your ex. Get an iPhone SE for just $19.99 when you switch, all on one of America's largest 5G networks. More power to save. Boost Mobile. Phone offer limited to new customers and local line. Additional restrictions apply. 5G not available everywhere. See boostmobile.com for details.
Think I'm almost better. They keep pulling me back in.
Navien tankless water heaters, the proven leader in condensing technology. Request a Navien because you deserve the best in endless hot water delivery. Learn about Navien's condensing tankless water heaters and find a Navien contractor at tanklessmadesimple.com.
What? No.
Getting the game on the Rob Brown Show.
Putting a bow on hour number 2 with the Rob Brown Show. This is the Fan Upstate. Rob Alonzo with you. So, a really, really good finish to the U.S. Open this weekend. As long as you are anybody but Will Zalatoris. Do you remember Will Zalatoris from about 2 years ago, Lonzo, by chance? I guess about a year and a half ago. Will Zalatoris popped up at Augusta National at a Masters tournament. And Will Zalatoris began immediately drawing comparisons to Happy Gilmore's caddy, right? This guy is a professional golfer, but Will Zalatoris started drawing comparisons on the actual Masters course to the young caddy of Happy Gilmore. Well, since then, Will Zalatoris has been on an absolute tear. He's been playing really good golf. 18th hole, the young man is staring down a 14-foot birdie putt. If he knocks it in, he goes to a playoff with eventual winner Matt Fitzpatrick of England. Zalatoris missed the putt by about an inch. 14-footer. Missed it by about an inch. Zalatoris says this one in particular hurts pretty hard. I'm 3 shots away from practically having a chance of being a 3-time major champion. And he's right. He's right. My dude has come in second 3 separate times at this point. In fact, actually, I lied to you, Zoe. I've got this. Clip number 1, if you don't mind. When you get it, I'm not in a hurry. Will Zalatoris went to the podium, and you could see my dude's emotion. You could see that he was hurting. Here's what he sounded like in the post-conference breakdown.
This one probably is going to take a little bit more processing than that one. I like I said, I got no regrets. I thought I played great all week, especially getting off to the start that I did today. It stings, obviously to have 3 runner-ups so far in my career in majors, but keep knocking on that door. I mean, we're obviously doing the right things. I'd pay a lot of money for about 1.5 inches, and I'd probably be a 3-time major champion at this point. So, we'll just keep doing what we're doing.
I'd pay a lot of money for about 1.5 inches, he said. And yes, some of you guys are going to make terrible jokes out of that. I can't, because Will Zalatoris is straight up in pain, and I feel him. I feel him. Of course he's in pain. Dude has checked in second place at the majors 3 times. He is 25 years old. He does not have a major win. He does not have a PGA Tour victory, but he has had so many seconds and thirds and fourths in his career that, like, I'm full on in his corner at this point. There are dudes that just have such runs of bad luck that you eventually become a fan of that guy, right? Will Zalatoris is that. There are entire teams and franchises that are the same way. You get to feeling so bad about the run of bad luck they've been on that you kind of can't help but pull for them a little bit. The old lovable losers category. Will Zalatoris is so close. So close. He had a change in his putt game. And this is what he said, talking about missing the putt on 18 by 1.5 inches. He said, quote, "I'm sure all the Instagram morons are going to say it has something to do with my left wrist flexion coming down. I promise you it's got nothing to do with it." Yeah, Instagram morons. Suck it.
What's a flexion?
I don't know. Okay. But it's got nothing to do with his putt.
All right.
I'm a go. Let's see. Wrist flexion. Let's see. Flexion. I'm assuming flexion are movements that occur.
I know a deflection. I know a reflection.
Flexion refers to a movement that decreases the angle between 2 body parts. Flexion at the elbows, decreasing the angle between the ulna and humerus. When the knee flexes, the ankle moves closer to the buttock, and the angle between the femur and tibia gets smaller. So, flexion and extension. Right. RB3. Right. Flexion is like flexing the bicep. Extension is pushing it away. So apparently he changed the way that he was putting. Said that, I don't care what he's talking about. I just love that he just said, "I'm sure all the Instagram morons are going to have an answer for me." Yeah, Instagram morons. Will doesn't want to hear it. I love it. I feel for this guy, man. I feel for this guy. I know that we look, America celebrates a winner, right? We celebrate a winner, but damn if we don't love a loser. We do. We can say we don't, but we do. We love a loser. We loved Al Bundy. We love the Chicago Cubs. We loved, past tense, the Cleveland Browns. Hell, my team, the Saints, we used to be lovable losers till we didn't. And we now have more Super Bowl trophies than the Atlanta Falcons do. No reason to bring that up. Just felt nice at the moment.
Just want to be accurate. That's all.
Yep. I feel bad for this guy. But that being said, absolutely clutch from Matt Fitzpatrick.
So he finishes in second place. How's that pay?
Pretty damn good. I don't suspect that he was going to be having anybody pick up his bar tab at the 19th hole.
He's not saying, "Sorry, kids, McDonald's."
Yeah.
We were going out for a steak, but got to hit the McDonald's.
Yep. And no large fries. You get the basic medium with the Happy Meal. No, I think Will's going to be just fine. I think young Will Zalatoris is going to be just fine. He's going to come up with one, right? He's going to come up with one. At least I'd like to think so. I've got to think eventually Zalatoris gets one. Good on Fitzpatrick, by the way. Guy was clutch down the stretch. He had multiple opportunities from about 12 through 18. Multiple opportunities that he could have given one back. Multiple opportunities that he could have dropped the putt here. Miss. In fact, what was it? I think 17. He ends up with a drive that sets up in the bunker in a terrible spot. He's between clubs. The ball's sitting up in the sand, which in a spot like that can be kind of difficult, right? Because when the ball's up on the sand like that, you don't know which power level you're gonna get out of this, right? Because if you catch that thing and that sand acts like grass, and you hit it full tilt, you might sky the green by 20, 30 yards. If you dig down into that dirt, and that dirt's a little thicker than it looks because your ball's sitting up nice and pretty on fluffy dirt, now you might not get out of the bunker at all. It's a tough spot, and this young man gutted through it. This young man played exceptional good golf down the stretch. Exceptional good golf down the stretch. I just feel bad for Will. 14-footer missed it by an inch to force a playoff. I'm not saying he would have even won that, but I'd love to have seen it. By the way, how about this? And we'll talk more drama later on in the week. 15 guys from the Live Tour showed up at the U.S. Open, Lonzo. 15. 3 made the cut. None of them were anywhere near the final leaderboard. Not DJ. Phil got bumped on the cut line at plus 11 through 2 days. Kevin Na got bumped on the cut line. The Live Tour sent their best to the U.S. Open, and they all got blanking run out. Spectacular to watch. Let's take a break. 1 hour left. Shockingly, I got some Zion Williams discussion. And how about Patty Mahomes has got a grudge against Tyreek now? Little drama in the NFL. Got some NFL talk and more coming up in the third hour of the Rob Brown Show. This is the Fan Upstate.
Out of treating ED, and the process is really straightforward.
HIMS? Yeah, my buddy gets his ED meds through them. Said their online process is much simpler than going to a doctor's office.
Oh yeah, their entire process is only a few steps, and they only ship ED meds from certified pharmacies in the U.S. that are 100% FDA approved. All you got to do is go to 4hims.com/radio. You just answer a few questions, select your treatment preferences, and fill out some health information. Then a healthcare provider reviews the info and determines which medication, if any, is right for you. If it's prescribed,
oh my goodness.
Right to your door.
I think I'm going to check these HIMS guys out.
So how's everybody on the internet stream?
The medication I was prescribed is 90% cheaper than Viagra and has the same active ingredient. I can finally satisfy my partner.
For a free online consultation, go to forhims.com/radio. That's forhims.com/radio.
Sports Flash.
We'll start with golf. Believe it or not, Live Golf CEO Greg Norman said that the new league is going to apply for official World Golf Ranking Points consideration today. He said that the new Live Golf Invitational Series has a, quote, very compelling application after working closely with the official World Golf Rankings Technical Committee to understand that process. Norman was on Fox News Saturday night, and he called out PGA Tour Commissioner Jay Monahan, who is one of 8 members of the official World Golf Rankings Board of Governors. Norman basically just posed the point, will Monahan recuse himself from voting on the application? Yesterday, England's Matt Fitzpatrick held off American Scotty Scheffler and Will Zalatoris, winning the U.S. Open by 1 stroke for his first major. And then yesterday, Hunter Renfroe of the Brewers had a very bittersweet end to the weekend. Late last August, his father, Todd, passed away after a 4-year battle with cancer. Yesterday at Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati, Hunter played his first Father's Day game without Dad. He hit a home run for the 3rd straight day to help Milwaukee sweep the Reds and remain atop the NL Central with the Cardinals. Padres third baseman Manny Machado is going to miss several weeks with a sprained left ankle, but x-rays were negative and showed no fracture. I'm Greg Caserta.
Hey, it's DA. Be sure to listen to CBS
CBS Sports Radio. Gary David back with Travis Benson, owner of CNT Foundations. Travis, is there really a difference in foundation repair companies?
Absolutely, Gary. And choosing the wrong one can be...
Yeah, that was my bad.
What sets us apart is that we're real, local general
Nothing.
contractors offering homeowners lifetime solutions.
Never mind.
Customer satisfaction over customer volume.
Call 864.
Oh, the thing from earlier?
No. There's a bad edit right there.
Oh, yeah. I didn't catch it.
Your foundation experts.
Sometimes it's if they're running their show real tight,
Yeah.
it's hard to get the edit precise.
Since 1977, they were awarded Best Pool Builder of the Year by voters in Greenville News. Their design specialists go through extensive training on design and construction, and they have a huge selection and incredible financing options. But I don't need to tell you all that. All you need to know is that pools are a blast. And the very best way to get one is from Aqua Blue Pools. Go to aquabluepools.com. Sure, I can tell you all about why you should buy a pool from Aqua Blue Pools. There are lots of reasons. Like they've been in business satisfying customers since 1977. They were awarded Best Pool Builder of the Year by voters in Greenville News. Their design specialists go through extensive training on design and construction, and they have a huge selection and incredible financing options. But I don't need to tell you all that. All you need to know is that pools are a blast. And the very best way to get one is from Aqua Blue Pools. Go to aquabluepools.com. Jim Rome in the jungle.
The Jets just had themselves a night, and I do mean a night. That is the best thing to happen to them since they got Boomer Esiason. Depending on how you rank them, you're looking at the Jets walking away with 3 of the top 10 guys on draft board. What I'm saying is, did the Jets just kill the draft, or did the Jets just kill the draft? I think they really did kill the draft.
Jim Rome in the jungle at noon. The Fan.
Upstate.
CBS Sports Radio.
Hi, my name is Rob Inerio, and according to my parents, accidents do happen. If you've been injured by an auto accident, slip and fall, medical malpractice, or a dog bite, I would love to be your attorney. Please give me a call at 864-CALL-ROB or visit me online at callrob.com.
At Lowe's, every pro is an MVP to us, no matter how big or small your business is. Earn back when you spend, get exclusive offers, and paint rewards. It all adds up to help level up your business. Join Lowe's MVP's Pro Rewards and Partnership Program today. Minimum purchase required. Earnings and pay rewards awarded as Lowe's e-gift cards. Exclusions, restrictions, and more terms apply. Valid through 12/31/22. See Lowe's.com/L/pro loyalty terms. Subject to change. U.S. only.
At Wendy's, we make breakfast better. Like with our breakfast Baconator. Better from top to bottom rung. Savory sausage patty, better. Crispy oven baked bacon, egg, better. The breakfast Baconator might just be the greatest breakfast sandwich of all time. So you can keep settling for not better, or you can get a better breakfast from Wendy's. Tough choice. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's better breakfast. Participating U.S. Wendy's during breakfast hours.
This report is sponsored by The Blood Connection, your community blood center.
It's heating up out there, which means the Blood Connection needs your help. The summer is the hardest time of year for your community blood center to get enough blood for local hospitals. Be a good neighbor. Donate blood with this community's only blood provider. Sign up at thebloodconnection.org/donate.
The Fan.
Upstate.
WYRD Greenville.
WORD Spartanburg.
WFBC HD3 Greenville, the official sports voice of the Upstate Fan. An Odyssey station.
Man, check this out.
You're on official Rob Brown lockdown.
Yeah.
Manufactured locally for the Carolinas. This is the Rob Brown Show.
The third, the final, the best of money hour of the Rob Brown Show starts now. This is the Fan Upstate. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I am Rob Brown, directly across from me on the other side of the glass in the Maverick chair. He is the Alpha and the Omega of the Fan Upstate. The great one, Lonzo, is in charge of the broadcast. And Zoe, I was reminded during the break that we have officially hit the part of the year that kind of starts to get a little interesting because we got basketball over. We're done. We got college baseball coming to its conclusion in the next few days. Matter of fact, got an elimination game kicking up here in about 3 hours at the College World Series, Auburn-Stanford. Auburn, one of my picks to win the whole thing. Texas, Cody Decker's pick, already bounced. We're going to talk about that coming up later on in the hour. Stanley Cup Finals, just about done because Colorado is beating the everything out of the Tampa Lightning right now. It's kind of sucks, Lonzo. That series isn't even fun, to be honest with you. Like, it takes a lot for me not to watch a game. I did not finish the end of game 2. I couldn't justify finishing it. Mom was in town, me, her lady friend, all hanging out, goofing off, watching whatever. And I'm like, I can't justify sitting on the couch watching an absolute butt whooping while my mom is visiting, That game's 1-1, nothing in the second. I'm like, all right, Mom, pull up a chair. We're watching hockey. That's what we're doing tonight. But I couldn't do it. But hockey just about over. And then we've got July and August, basically, where it's baseball all the way, baby. Now, the good news is Zoe and I have some phenomenal plans for topics we're going to bring off the air, including one, I don't know if you've worked on it any further, Alonzo, but build your best fictional starting football team using characters from football movies.
I was actually thinking about that today.
Yeah.
And at some point, I'm going to have to start writing them down. Yes.
I got a couple written down at the house. But we got that coming up. I mean, we're going to have some fun. But we are about to hit the doldrums of summer as Sports Talk Radio goes.
We survived COVID, man. We got this.
No, I know. Listen, I this used to be the part of the year that I used to dread, right? Like, I used to dread this time of year. It's like, oh, God. Because I love baseball, and I can do 3 hours of baseball every day, no problem. But I also know that that's a death sentence in Sports Talk Radio, right?
Not only that, we are the champions of sports without sports. We got a trophy for it.
Correct. So, like, I know I can do 3 hours of baseball from July 1st through August 20th-ish when we get the NFL preseason underway. But I know it's a death sentence as far as radio goes, so we got all kinds of stuff to get to you. But just be prepared, man. Because when the Stanley Cup is over, apparently in 2 games from now, because Tampa just can't figure a damn thing out. And then when the College World Series is over, it's MLB the rest of the summer, my guys.
See, we talked about UFC a little bit last hour, and this is the time of year when they start ramping things up every Saturday with a fight night and I know it's just one thing to talk about, but at least we got that to look forward to. They seem to save some fights, some really good fights for around this time of year.
Hey, remember that guy we were talking about earlier that you said your first interview with him went really well?
Yeah?
Yeah, he's coming on the show.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, pretty geeked about that. That's pretty rad. Hey, man, getting him on the show.
Good luck keeping that on the rails, as I told you earlier.
No, I can't wait.
I doubt it's changed.
Lonzo, I can't keep my own show on the rails.
Yeah, I'm aware of that. That's why I'm here.
We're going to add that guy to the mix. It's going to be sheer unbridled chaos, and I'm here for it. It's going to be amazing.
Just don't do any prep. There's no point.
I've heard that before. You were not the first person to tell me that, as a matter of fact. We'll go ahead and get this locked in. I need this to happen. I think that could be a conversation that if we aren't careful, we get to the point where we do 45 straight minutes and then we got to cram all 3 breaks into just one super mega ultra break to end the show.
Well, here's hoping that there's a visual to go with the interview because that would make it even better.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna try to set that up. So we'll let you know. We'll let you know if we get who we're talking about. But I'm working on it. I am working on it. All right, 844-326-3663. That's 844 fan phone. 844 FANFONE. 844 fan phone. You can also text us on the Preferred Home Services text line, 71307. Start your text with FAN, F-A-N. Start your text with FAN, F-A-N. We would love to have you on the show. What haven't we got to yet? We haven't gotten to the Braves. Braves dropped 2 out of 3 at Wrigleyville. And, not time to panic. But that's because, as baseball teams go, that Cubs team is a better team than they should be. Scratch that. Better team than they appear to be. They are a worse team than they should be. That Cubs team, the Braves dropped 2 out of 3 to, is better than they get credit for. That being said, they are still, 27 and 43? And the Braves still dropped 2 out of 3. Problem was not that they lost. The Braves are going to lose baseball games. The Dodgers are losing games. The Yankees, despite long, repeatedly long winning streaks, I think they've got one of 13, one of 11, and one of 9 this year. It's a pretty good baseball team. They're going to drop some games. Problem is, the bats disappeared on me in the first game specifically, right? It's like for whatever reason. And here's the thing. Remember, the sweep of the Rockies was in Colorado. The sweep of the Nats was in D.C. This team was playing good baseball on the road. They were playing good baseball on the road. And then they go to Chicago. They go to the Windy City. They get themselves all set up on a 14-game winning streak. They give one back. And now all of a sudden, because the Mets won yesterday, the lead that had shrank from 12.5 down to 4.5, after you go lose to a now 25 and 41 team, a team that is 12 spots out of their divisional crown, a team that is at home, 13 and 25. They were 11 and 24 before the Braves visited them. The Braves did take game 3, 6-0. It looked much better. I don't know. Don't panic, right? Don't panic. What'd I say? Keep that lead at 4 or 5 for the Mets. Be within 4 or 5. Remember, the Mets are pretty damn good. 23 and 10 at home. 21 and 14 on the road. But they are 6 and 4 in their last 10. The Bravos are now 8 and 2 in their last 10. You are 2.5 games clear of the Phillies. You are 5.5 games shy of the Mets. That 2 loss to Chicago is not the end of the world. It's really not. It was a 1-0 loss to open. 1 for 4 was Ronnie Acuna. Dansby, 0 for 4. Riley, 0 for 4. Olsen, 0 for 2 with a couple of walks. Darno, 0 for 3. Ozuna, 0 for 3 with a walk. Duvall, 0 for 2. Arcia, 1 for 4. Harris, 0 for 3. Charlie Morton gave you 7 innings of 3-hit baseball with 0 earned runs. AJ Minter came in, gave up a walk, and the only earned run of the day. That's a freak game. That's a freak game. Those are going to happen in baseball, and they're going to happen less than they don't. You turn around, you put a couple of runs up in the second game. 6-3 L to Chi-Town. Ronnie was better, 2 for 4 in that one. Dansby got 1. Austin Riley, 0 for 3, but did have an RBI on a sack. Adam Duvall, 2 for 4, 2 scored, and a ribby. Guys were touching the baseball. Now, problem in that one, Kyle Wright. Back end of the rotation. 6 innings pitch, 11 hits, 5 runs surrendered, and a walk. Fix it. You fix those things, the Braves are going to be fine. But to my Braves fans, to my friend, that on Saturday evening when we got to talking about it after the Greenville Liberty game, to my friend that ended up talking about it, who was panicking, and all the Braves fans that are in her camp, relax, deep breath, deep breath. You are going to lose some games. The Mets are losing games now too. The Mets are losing games too. Okay? It was unfortunate. It was not the way you wanted that series to go. You'd have liked 2 out of 3. You'd have liked all 3. But you got good pitching, with the exception of Kyle Wright. You had a great game out of Charlie Morton in game 1. You've got good pitching. The bats cooled off a little bit, but Wrigley's a tough place to play. And the weather at Wrigley was gross. It was humid. It was windy. Wind blowing in straight from center. So a team that was hitting a lot of dingus at home against Pittsburgh and on the road against DC and certainly up in the thin air of Colorado had the weather working against them in the Windy City. Wind was blowing straight in from center. Hard to hit homers when the wind's right in your face. In a year that the ball is dead already anyway. So, we'll see what this team does coming off of that series. It was just a 3-gamer. It's not the end of the world. The Braves play today, and they got a big opportunity here because they are set to start up a multi-gamer with the Giants and then a multi-gamer with the Dodgers. They got the Giants today. I should say tonight at 7:20, tomorrow at 7:20, Wednesday at 7:20, Thursday at 7:20, then Friday, the Dodgers at 7:20, Saturday, the Dodgers at 7:15, Sunday, the Dodgers at 7:08. Then a roadie where they go take on the Phillies for 3, and then they go get the Reds. You are about to hit a hefty part of the schedule for the Bravos. Till you get to the Reds and then the Cardinals, no real break here for the Bravos. Got to leave that Chicago series in the back pocket. Got to ignore that. Got to forget that. You do that, you got a real opportunity. But the Giants are good. We know what the Dodgers are. You got to take advantage. You got to win. You got to win. You need to come out of the next 10 plus minus 6-4 at worst. 7-3 would be great. All right, let me take a break. When we come back here in just a minute from right now, got a few more things I want to get into, including the cat who got a Boston 2022 NBA championship tattoo. I'll have you know, Boston did not win the NBA championship. You may or may not have caught that. So what's his plan for that tat? I'll tell you coming up later on. Hey, remember when I told you that the Charlotte Hornets had a new head coach last week who was coaching over for Golden State and was going to bring championship pedigree? Turns out he decided not to do that. Whoops. Back after this on the Rob Brown Show with the Fan Upstate.
Yeah, set that right over there. Do that. Yeah.
Weather Center, here's the Upstate's most trusted forecast on the Fan Upstate. For its day, look for mostly sunny skies with high temperatures near 90. Then for its night, mostly clear, mid-60s. Tuesday, heating up to the upper 90s, and Wednesday, still lots of sun approaching 100. I'm meteorologist Michael Kerr on the Fan Upstate. Currently 80 degrees.
success in 2022, they need to go 8-4. Well, this particular model says the Gamecocks have a 31% chance to win 7 games. But only an 11% chance to win 8 games or more. Ay caramba, which model is right? Gamecock fan expectations.
Yeah, put us in for a Kenny Mayne interview.
Cool. I hope since he's no longer on TV that he just lets hair grow out. That would be awesome. Yay, our quarterback is Geno Smith. You ever try to run hurdles? My track coach tried to get me to do it while I'm watching a guy just tearing himself up, falling over every other one. I'm like, no.
Here at Total Wine & More, you'll love what you find, especially our totally low prices. I'm firing up the grill for burgers and want to impress the neighbors. This bourbon has a
Also, my track coach had a sarcastic sense of humor. I think he just wanted to watch me fall. It's the same guy who was a speech teacher and did the announcing in the stadium and pronounced my last name wrong on purpose. Which I completely respect. And then my mom is asking, why is he doing that? Because he thinks it's funny.
Same reason I would.
Staples has you covered with tech solutions and accessories, from the latest laptops to networking solutions. And now Apple AirPods Pro are
We'd also be out by the field when we'd run on the field, and he would say my name right on purpose. Go get him, Reitzel, and then he'd go right up in the booth and say it wrong.
My favorite thing about the Upstate is the pride I sense in each of you that you're from here. It's evident in all you do.
His last name was McKnight, I believe.
Clothing has been an Upstate staple. They are the fabric of the community, literally. And Smith & James thrives because they succeed at their
Yeah, it was a white dude.
you look your best. Believe me, if they can make me look good, they can do it for anybody. I'm the before picture. Visit Smith & James at 222 Trade Street in Greer or at their new location on Verde Boulevard in Greenville, and visit them online at smithandjames.com.
Listen on the Odyssey app. Search the fan.
The Rob Brown Show back on your radio. This is the Fan Upstate. I am Rob. He is Lonzo. Great to have you along for the ride. So last week, it was reported that Golden State Warriors assistant coach Kenny Atkinson will be taking over the position of head coach for your Charlotte Hornets. Turns out reports may have been a bit preemptive. Now, it wasn't a bad report because the reports were true. Kenny Atkinson was going to take the head coach's job of the Buzz. it was a bad report because now he's decided that he is not going to. The social media world reacted quite a bit to the report that Atkinson decided he would remain with the Warriors as their highest level assistant after they celebrated their 2022 NBA Finals. Monty Poole, who covers the NBA for the NBC Sports Bay Area, tweeted that Atkinson spent the week dealing with, quote, mixed emotions about leaving the Warriors, end quote, for Charlotte. He said that Atkinson, quote, listened to his heart, period, new sentence, and his family. How dramatic. How absolutely he listened to his heart and family.
He didn't know where he was going, and he didn't know why, but he listened to his heart.
When it's coming for you. Yeah. Listen to his heart. James Plowright covers the Hornets. He tweeted, quote, in total shock, as is the front office of the team. Pretty unprofessional from Atkinson to embarrass Charlotte like this. No problem with him not accepting the job, but do it from the off. Left Charlotte in the most difficult of positions now. Expect Mike D'Antoni to be named shortly. Oh, no. Say it ain't so. Whoa, whoa. That's rough. Kenny Atkinson, about a week before the NBA draft, of which the Buzz have decisions to make, decides that he's going to stay with Golden State and not become the head coach of the Hornets. He was offered the job during the NBA Finals. He accepted it. Then he decided, never mind. Mike D'Antoni was the runner-up for the Hornets head coaching position. And I have to wonder, did Mike D'Antoni get named the previous runner-up because they found Atkinson and then they were like, yeah, no, we're done. We're done, right? Because does anybody want Mike D'Antoni? Like, is anybody looking at Mike D'Antoni and thinking, that's the guy?
There was a time when he was one of the hottest names in basketball. What happened?
The 2016 through 2020 Houston Rockets happened. I don't know, man. He was a two-time NBA Coach of the Year. Two-time All-Star Game head coach. But post the Rockets breakdown, he just kind of vanished into obscurity. He did 2 years with the Lake Show, too.
Do guys just not want to work with Michael Jordan?
I mean, Mike don't want to coach. I suspect Mike don't want to coach. Mike D'Antoni, you're right, at one point was one of the highest rated, highest appreciated names out there. 4 seasons, he spent, 4 seasons with the Rockets. Went to the NBA Western Conference semifinals in 1 year. Received the NBA Coach of the Year award that year alongside Eric Spoelstra. 2017-18, led the Rockets to an NBA best 65-17 record, but lost in the NBA Western Conference Finals. 2018-19 season, the Rockets won more games in each 3 seasons than any 3-year stretch in franchise history. They were 23-16 in the playoffs during that same span. D'Antoni accumulated the best win percentage of any Rockets coach ever. But after the 2019-20 season, he said, I'm out. I'm done. I believe I can keep doing this. The talks that were there for an extension died out. A day after Houston lost the conference semifinals 4-1 to the Lakers, he was out. Got brought into Brooklyn. Stepped down from his position after 1 season there. Got brought into New Orleans as a coaching advisor. I never really heard his name brought up again after that. I mean, I guess you could have done worse than Mike D'Antoni. But I feel like, I don't know, man. I feel like you could have done better. I think you could have gone elsewhere. Now, That being said, I think it's certainly fair to ask the question, does this mean that Kenny Atkinson is being set up as coach and waiting for Golden State, right? Because you got to think Steve Kerr does a couple more victory laps. But let's be real. Golden State's good. They're getting older rapidly, right? They're going to need an invigoration at some point. Is Atkinson tapped as the head coach in waiting? Charlotte does not care. The Buzz don't care. They don't care if that's the thing or not. What matters here is the Hornets have a week, right at a week, to get ready for an NBA draft. They don't have a head coach. It looks like they're going to have to bring in Mike D'Antoni. Now, in fairness, D'Antoni ran a pretty good offense in the places he's been. All the places he's been brought in to be a assistant coach or consultant has been on the offensive side of the ball. And Charlotte is a team that's learning to build their offensive identity. But
it isn't like they're going to have to tell the guy how to handle a draft because he's been in a bunch of them.
Sure. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. I just don't love it. I don't love the look for Charlotte. I don't look the love for Charlotte in having a guy and having that guy bail out on you last minute, deciding that elsewhere is better. Listen, it makes sense if Kenny Atkinson is going to be handed the keys to the convertible there in Golden State, right? If Steve told him, hey, look, man, I'm going to do one more and I'm out, right? I'm going to go get one more. I'm going to chase one more ring. If I get it, great. I walk on a high. If I don't, whatever. I got 4. I'm out. And if Atkinson is getting told, you are the head coach in waiting here for the for the Warriors, Lonzo, I'd do the same thing. Sorry, Charlotte, no offense to you, but Golden State's a basketball dynasty right now. I got to go, right?
It is. You know what you got. You know all the personnel. You're familiar with the place. Yeah, I think you stay there.
Yeah. Trey said, I haven't heard an explanation on why Kenny Atkinson backed out of the job yet. I'm not happy about it. I want to believe that Charlotte is a desirable job. Rob's got to be the bad guy here. It's great that you want to believe that, Trey. It's not yet. It has to be made a desirable job. It's not that yet.
Yeah, but it could be something other than that. It could be all the things that you just talked about maybe he's a coach in waiting where he is in Golden State.
Golden State's a more desirable job, even if Charlotte was a good one.
For sure.
That being said, Charlotte's not on that level yet, right?
I mean, if he was coming from some other team that hadn't won in a long time, and
if
going,
he's like, I'm going to stick around and be the head coach of the Sacramento Kings,
right.
You'd be like,
Now that's a big time diss, but staying in Golden State is not.
Yeah. And again, we don't know the deal. Remember, Duke did this with John Shire, right? They had Shire as a secret coach in waiting. Might be the same deal there. I'd like to believe Charlotte is a desirable job too, but here's the thing. And again, I think Mike kind of hurt himself here. Post The Last Dance, any of y'all think Michael Jordan is an enjoyable boss? Any of y'all think Mike Jordan is a boss you'd want to work for? I don't. I bet Mike is hell on earth to work for, right? So unless you are established, why would you want to be there? And unless Charlotte has established themselves as a team that is, good, why would you want to be there? I want Charlotte to be a desirable job. I want Charlotte to be good. They're just not there yet. If Kenny Atkinson got the opportunity to stay back in Golden State and get told you were the head coach in waiting, he made the right decision. All right? Sucks for Charlotte, but he did. Now you better hope Mike D'Antoni still got it. You better hope he can help you build in Charlotte what he helped build in H-Town. I'm not banking on it, but it's a possibility. All right, let's take a break. We'll come back here in just a minute. Got a few more things I want to hit before we get out for the day. Zion wants to stay a Pelican. Do you believe him? Do you care? Does anybody still care about Z around here? I know we've talked about that in the past. We'll do it again because I want to. The Charlotte Observer has put out a list of questions they are asking themselves after Panthers minicamp. We're going to take a look, see if we can come up with some answers for them. And the best part of the U.S. Open this weekend, the hecklers. There were some great ones. We might get that in there as well. I'm Rob. He's Lonzo. You're listening to The Fan Upstate.
I'm Jason Marks with your sports flash on The Fan Upstate. In Major League Baseball, Ian Anderson throws 6+ innings of shutout ball, giving up only 3 hits, and Matt Olson knocks 3 doubles as the Atlanta Braves avoid a sweep Sunday with a 6-0 win over the Chicago Cubs. The Braves are back at Truist Park tonight to
Hi, Miss Lisa. Happy Monday.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code CLEAN for a $5 bonus on your first tank. That's promo code CLEAN. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, to PayPal, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code CLEAN for a $5 bonus on your first tank. That's code CLEAN for a $5 bonus.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to
phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-978-5309 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will
See the picture I sent you? You probably had already seen it anyway. Or you just
yeah.
Brock looks a lot like David Letterman. It's weird.
I was thinking Brock looks like the old uncle I would absolutely hang out with.
He is the uncle you would say yes, sir, to.
Correct.
Yes, sir. Let me get on that. Would you like some ice with that, Uncle Brock?
Uncle Brock. Uncle Brock is also the one that'd ask you if you wanted a beer, too.
Probably.
Uncle Brock.
Uncle Brock's Butcher Shop. Come on in and get some meat.
Tampa, Colorado tonight. Avalanche at Lightning. The series flips back over to the Bay. That was going to get going at 8 p.m. Colorado leads that series 2-0. And I got news for you. They are going to lead that series 3-0 after tonight. I don't know. Tampa looks old. They look slow. They look beat. They look defeated. They look confused. They got beat from start to finish. They got beat from start to finish. They have gotten beaten offensively. They cannot get any consistency at all. It has effectively been throw the ball down in there and pray, right? Like, let's just throw the puck down at the net. Let's all skate down there and see what we can come up with, except for Colorado's beating them off the forecheck. Colorado is keeping them pinned on their side before they can actually organize any offense. And it's not a great look. It's not a great look. Tampa, I thought, would hang in this series. I always pick Colorado to win. But I thought Tampa would hang in this series based on experience. I thought Tampa would hang in this series based on their I don't know. Like I said, their experience, their maturity. I thought they'd be able to ride Zavaletsky. I thought they would be able to take advantage of Kucherov and the experience that first line has. I thought getting Braden Point was going to be big for Tampa, and I thought that would lend to a couple of picked up goals, and it just hasn't. It just hasn't. So game 3 tonight, it's going to be all Colorado. And I got to tell you, I think Tampa is fighting for their lives. Fighting for their lives in game 4 to take an elimination game back to Colorado and not get swept on their own ice. It's one thing to lose a series. It's another thing to get killed. And Colorado's just killing Tampa right now. We'll talk more about that later. Hey, I saw this. I wanted to bring this up. I know it happened a little while ago, but I saw that Patrick Mahomes fired back. Tyreek Hill was doing his podcast and was asked to basically grade the quarterbacks that he's played with. Tyreek said that as far as arm strength, he's going with 15. That is to say Patrick Mahomes. But, quote, as far as accuracy, I'm going with Tua all day, end quote. Which brings me to my next point. Kids, don't do drugs. I like Tua. I'm pulling for Tua. I hope Tua figures it out. But Tyreek, you know what? I got to give him credit. My man is doing whatever he can to pump up the confidence of the flying Hawaiian QB, Tua Tagovailoa. But if anybody has watched 15 and Tua and thought for a second that Tua has better accuracy than Patrick Mahomes, they're high.
You know, for the most part, Tyreek Hill is pretty much quarterback, throw the ball, and I will run and catch it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not really throw it to this point, hit me on the numbers. I'm faster than everyone else is. Throw it as high as you can, and I will catch it. You don't really have to be that accurate when you got a receiver that's that fast. Is this his way of deflecting? Well, you know, he was accurate with the ball. I just was out of position.
I think this is him recognizing that his new quarterback has been getting the hell beat out of him in the media the last couple of years, and deservedly so to some degree. I think this is him realizing that he just signed a fat contract to come play for the Finns, and if he wants another chance at upping that contract, he needs to have numbers, and he's got a young quarterback not exactly known for throwing the ball deep and hitting guys in stride. Here's my favorite part. Mahomes responded to him. Mahomes said, quote, I'm surprised a little bit because I feel like we love Tyreek here. We've always loved him. We still loved him. Quote, I'm sure it had something to do with trying to get his podcast and get it rolling, end quote. Basically was like, yeah, the easiest thing to do when you are podcasting is to say unpopular things and catch attention for it.
Hot take.
Choo choo. Here comes the Hot Take Express with your conductor, Tyreek Hill.
The thing is, did it work?
Daddy's right.
Did it work? Yeah, it worked because people have been talking about it for a while now. So absolutely. And no one believes for a second that he believes that Tua is more accurate.
You going to listen to Tyreek's podcast?
No.
Yeah, me either.
He's no longer a chief.
I barely have time to listen to the podcast of players that I do like, right?
I got to be honest, and this will surprise no one. If I listen to a podcast, it's going to be a wrestling podcast.
Yeah. I barely got enough podcasts to fit in what I want to. Forget the ones I don't. By the way, why did we have Vince come out on Friday night? What was the point of that?
To the ring.
Yeah.
Vince came out to the ring.
Yeah, for those of you that did not see it, Friday Night SmackDown opened with Vince coming out in character to Vince's walkout music to get in the ring and say, then, now, forever, together. And then high five everybody on the way out.
Most important part is together. And then,
together.
And then mic drop. I watched the crowd. That's what I wanted to see. I wanted to see, will they applaud? Will they boo? I think, I've seen reports saying, oh, well, there were more applause than boos. I saw a bunch of bewilderment.
Yeah.
That people had no idea how to react.
Yeah.
How are you supposed to react when he comes out?
Listen, there are going to be the diehards and the don't know any betters who are going to cheer for Vince McMahon no matter what, right? Vince could murder a dude and come out and they're going to cheer for him. Then there are the other side, the exact opposite. There are those that live in kayfabe or those who they're just going to boo McMahon no matter what. And then there's the normal people in the middle. And I think I think there was a healthy smattering of applause. I think there was a healthy dosage of boos. But I also think that the majority of the people there, kind of like me and Zoe, were both like, let's just see what he says when he gets to the ring, right? Like, what's he going to say? I know that I was busy, so I had to catch up with it later. But I'm like, all right, I got to watch. And all he said was, it says on the title card, then, now, forever, and then the most important word, together.
If I recall, I believe it was you who said Vince will be Vince. And I was hoping he would come out and say, I'm retiring now from everything. And I believe you said Vince would be Vince, and you were right.
Yeah.
Vince was Vince.
Yeah.
Vince was Mr. McMahon, the character Mr. McMahon. And
I don't think it's character anymore. I genuinely think okay. I grew up around people who are actors. I was a thespian in high school. Thespian, that's where all my came from, right? There was this one dude in high school. I can't remember the life of me. Can't remember his name, but he was in the drama club, you know? And he did this thing that drove everybody crazy, Lonzo, where when there was a play and he got into a character, like he became that character. What's his name? Not Cumberbatch. What's the other? Daniel Day-Lewis?
Yeah, and some would say Jared Leto. There's some guys right now who really are become the character actors.
Like
and,
off screen, like even in the back screen, like even when they're like hanging out and catering, they're still in character. And it's weird, but like, all right, if you're doing great work, it is what it is. I think Vince has just convinced himself Mr. McMahon is who he really is. Or Mr. McMahon's not a character. That's just Vince McMahon. And he's like, I need a way to present myself in the ring. I'll just make everybody call me Mr. But I don't think it's a character anymore. I think that's just Vince. As we were talking about last week, at the end of the day, there's only one way to punish Vince, Mr. McMahon. There's only one way to punish the guy, which is what? To make him irrelevant. And make him obsolete.
That's true. Take away creative. If they take away from creative, then he becomes obsolete.
Yeah. And I think he thought if I go out there and I say, together, then everybody's going to have my back and clap. And he did get some high fives on the way out. But it's wrestling, dude. Like, there's always going to be... Listen, you know what the best part about wrestling is? Wrestling. You know what the worst part is? Wrestling fans. Wrestling fans are the worst. They're the worst.
You know, unless when he said together, he meant if this thing goes down, we go down
I'm
together.
taking you all down with me.
That could be what he meant.
You're all fired. I mean, honestly, the crazy thing is, you said that, and I'm like, that's a good point. Wait, no. But maybe a little bit, right? I don't know, man. It was pointless. He said nothing. He accomplished nothing. He did nothing.
Oh, no. He accomplished something. He got a bunch of eyes on the product.
Yeah.
And then he mic dropped and walked out.
Yeah, because now he can go, hey, Fox, even when I was at my lowest, even when there was a problem, your ratings were through the roof because of me.
You're welcome.
And now, the Rob Brown Show presents Twitter Trending Topics.
All right. Start the week out. Man, made it the entire show. Should have known I couldn't hear myself wheezing. Time for Twitter Trending Topics, where I tell Rob what is trending, and he will tell us why they're trending. Joe Biden is trending.
So, Joe Biden was riding a bike this weekend and ate it. Now, I want to go ahead because some of you have already got the hot take text express fired up of, well, if he can't ride a bike, should he be president?
Why do they have to sound like that?
Because if that is the take you get, right, it's kind of like...
those people are on both sides, and they say that stuff about... Yeah.
I agree. But the hot taking question right now is, Joe Biden fell while riding a bike. If you have ever...
But he didn't fall while riding a bike.
No, he fell.
He fell after he stopped.
I have done that, and I was an athlete for many years. What happens is Joe was riding a bike, right? This is not a Huffy.
So was he strapped in?
He had the pedal had the straps, and the straps, if you
Who
haven't...
thought that was a good idea? I'm just saying.
I'm going to go ahead and tell you right now, Joe Biden's in better shape than me. All right? Physically speaking, I promise you Joe can ride a bike further than me. I promise you he can. He's not in bad shape. All right? Physically speaking, he's not in bad shape. My man caught a strap on the pedal. The bike was going over. He didn't have time to rescue himself. I have been there. I have done that. Watch any big-time bike race, and you will see bikers do that. It's an easy mistake
to make. It was such a dead drop, though. It's just like...
Oh, he went straight down. Straight down.
There was no flailing arms, no nothing.
No.
It's just like...
It was over. And that's the thing. In that moment, because I've done it before.
Yeah, but don't you at least try to catch yourself?
There
I know
is none.
he went off. I mean, take your hands off the handlebars, and so the best thing is just to keep a hold of it and
tuck and roll, throw that shoulder down.
Okay.
Honestly, it's a bum spot to be in. It sucks. I've been there.
All right. Time for one more. Kyrie Irving is trending.
I don't know what Kyrie said today or did today.
Didn't say anything.
No, I know Stephen A had something about Kyrie.
I'm gonna go ahead and tell you because we only got a few seconds. His contract talks are at an impasse, so it looks like he will be playing elsewhere.
Kyrie wants Braun money, and the Nets ain't got it.
It's funny you should say Braun money because one of the two teams that they think might try to pick him up
is the
Lakers.
Of course. We'll trade you Kyrie for Westbrook. You know what? I take that trade. I take that trade if I'm LA. If I'm Brooklyn, I take that trade.
Oh, I'm definitely taking that trade because Kyrie, when he's there, he plays pretty well.
Yeah. If I'm LA, I take that trade. And then I'm calling the governor and being like, yo, he can play all the games, right? He can, right? Gavin! That's it for us. Jim Rome is up next in the jungle. Diesel and Mark Ryan got you for Offsides at 3. We're back to do it all over again and try harder tomorrow. For Lonzo, I'm Rob. Don't drink and drive. I'll punch you in the face. Have a great rest of your Monday. This was the Rob Brown Show on the Fan Upstate. Later, brother.